Good morning, Papsda, and Merry Christmas. I cannot believe today is Christmas Day. We have made it to Christmas, and I don't know how many people are watching this right now, but if you are, wow, that is a huge achievement. But Merry Christmas to you whenever you get to watch this. I hope that you are spending it with your families and with your friends. I hope you are eating some good food and have had just some beautiful memories already this morning, and are going to make many, many more for the rest of the day. But it is a happy day. It is a great day. Christmas is always a beautiful time, just to stop and to pause and take a moment to reflect on the year and on how grateful we are just to be together today. So Merry Christmas, Papsda family. On behalf of myself and our Papsda team, we miss you all, and we just pray that you have the most beautiful day with your families today. Before we get into what is coming up today, I wanted to start by sharing some photos from our awesome BBM Christmas event that happened on Thursday, just gone. Every week we've been telling you about this event coming up, and if you'd like to donate to it and get involved. And Andrew and our community team were there on the ground, and we got to take photos of such an amazing event that took place at Papsda in the car park. There were food stalls, food trucks, there was a photo booth, and of course there were hundreds and hundreds of food parcels, Christmas food parcels and presents for kids. And it was a beautiful day, and thank you so much to everyone that contributed to that. But right now we're going to start off our program by looking at some photos from that day. So let's check that out now.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Oh, come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ. Oh, come, my faithful. Oh, come, my faithful. Oh, come, my faithful to Bethlehem. Oh, come, my faithful. Oh, come, my faithful. Oh, come, my faithful to Bethlehem.
Oh, sing choirs of angels, singing exultation. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Oh, come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore.
Wasn't that awesome? Oh, it looked like so much fun, and man, we're just so blessed and honored to be able to be part of it and to partner with awesome groups like BBM, to be able to give to our families, give them a Christmas that they probably never would have had. So thank you, Papsda, thank you, BBM, you're all amazing. Today we have some awesome things lined up for you. And you know, last week we had our very special Christmas service, which was so beautiful. We got to hear so many awesome stories from our people on what they are doing to carry Christmas this year. So we're going to watch a few of those again, bring those back for today. And we have Karyn speaking to us, bringing us a very special Christmas message. So cannot wait for that. But right now, let's get into it. And then, of course, we always start off with epic time. So let's go and see what Auntie Debbie has for us today.
Merry Christmas!
Merry
Merry Christmas!
Yeah.
Merry Christmas!
Yes,
Yes, Merry Christmas everyone. Today is such a special day because we get to celebrate Jesus' birth, the day our Saviour was born and He came into the world to be amongst us. His life brought us joy, hope, love and peace to so many, and all of that is still true for us today. Before we get into our program, I just wanted to say a big, super big thanks to all our Epic volunteers for leading out and showing Jesus' love to all our Epic kids this year. We hope and pray that you have an amazing Christmas and a safe and blessed summer holiday. See you later. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
The world waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. The child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Oh come, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing? Glory to the light of the world. Glory, the light of the world is here. The drought breaks with the tears of a mother. A baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, Emmanuel. Here's the song for the suffering. He is Messiah, the Prince of Peace has come. He has come, Emmanuel. Oh come, Emmanuel.
One day, Mary was picking flowers, and then the angel Gabriel came to her. When she saw the angel, she was so shocked. The angel said, "Do not be scared. Don't be afraid. You're gonna have a baby, and you'll name him Jesus." At first she was scared. Mary said, "But I can't be pregnant. I'm not married yet." Joseph was making a table or something in his shed. The angel comes and he tells Joseph, you and Mary are gonna be married, and you will have a baby boy. You are to name him Jesus. Joseph was shocked. Mary and Joseph had to move to Bethlehem. King Caesar wanted to count the people in his land. And Mary said, "Oh, how far is Bethlehem?" Joseph had to carry the suitcases for ages and ages. Mary and Joseph knocked on all the ends. All the doors were shut right in their faces. "Sorry, no room, no." But they kept going and knocking on more doors. "No, no room." They said, "Can we have a room here for our baby to be born?" But finally, someone said, "You can stay in the stable." They went to a farm. There was hay everywhere, and the walls were like leather. And in the farm, Mary gave birth to baby Jesus. The manger became the bed for baby Jesus. An angel appeared to 3 shepherds in the field, and the shepherds were like, "A new king is born." The angel sang songs. "Glory to God in heaven, peace on earth." And they had to walk there because they had no cars. They only had their sheep. And you can't ride sheep because they're too small. 3 wise men who studied the stars, they saw a star. They all meet in the middle of the desert, and then the star led them to Bethlehem. They followed the star and they found baby Jesus and gave him gifts of gold, incense, and stuff. When everybody got there, they praised Jesus and they sang songs. Then they all had a big party to celebrate. I think they had all of these sweets. They might have had gingerbread man and maybe donuts. Yay!
Wow, thank you so much, Debbie, for such an awesome, epic time. That was really, really cool. This morning, I'm so excited to get to talk to one of our very own, Nicholas Mailau, and we're going to talk to Nick about something that he started over lockdown. Nick has become kind of a familiar face on the silver screen as of late, and so I'm so excited to get to talk to you today. Good morning, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us for our special Christmas service. You were recently interviewed by 7 Sharp for an initiative that you and a fellow teacher did during lockdown. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that started, we came back into term 4, kind of expecting that we were going to be back at school, and we weren't. We were still learning online. And we'd been getting pretty good numbers. I reckon we'd been having about 80% of our students turn up in our Zooms throughout the lockdown. And then term 4 came and it kind of dropped to about half the class. So myself and the deputy principal were kind of trying to brainstorm ways that we can get our kids a little bit more engaged, more socially than learning, to be honest. And Israel, who is my deputy principal, he came up with the idea of a class bike ride where we would go around and we would pick students up from their house around the neighborhood of the school, and we take them for like a 5K ride and then drop them back. And we did one, and I recorded some of it and posted it on TikTok, and got a few thousand views. And then 7 Sharp actually emailed and said, hey, we'd love to come and record you guys doing a bike ride. So yeah, that kind of happened, and it kind of blew up from there.
That is so cool, and you've had a massive response since that interview came out, and we're going to have a look at what happened.
A couple of weeks ago, we told you the story of a couple of teachers with a simple idea to get kids away from their computers and learning outside.
It was a story that captured the hearts of many of you. And now there's another chapter. Here's Michael Holland.
All right, lads, this is going to be fun.
Definitely.
Only one proviso, not the most expensive, all right?
Yeah.
So what are we thinking, mountain bike or racing bike?
Mountain bike.
Something to go across all terrain.
Yeah.
You'll remember Rakim and Gurjeet, besties who hadn't seen each other for 3 months until their teachers set some lockdown wheels in motion.
Like seeing Gurjeet come out and like just seeing Rakim like, oh, you know, he didn't say it, but I could see it in his face, you know, even covered with the mask. He's like, yo, that's my best mate.
We really missed each other.
The boys are back.
Yeah.
And today we've enlisted their help to give back to Matua Nick and Matua Isra for peddling a plan for their students to stay connected that didn't involve staring at screens day after day.
This is wifey's bike, so thanks Jess, shout out to you.
I've never actually owned a bike, so yeah, I had to make a phone call to my mother-in-law, Shazza from Osaki.
They don't know anything about this, right?
They don't know anything.
Hand on heart, boys. Truly?
Yeah. This is a good one. Amazing.
Yeah, I like it. It matches our colours.
It does match your school colours with the green and the blue. 24 gears, 27.5-inch wheels. We're just running through the gears to make sure it's all tuned up.
You know our last story?
Yeah.
We had such a huge response. Everyone loved it.
Yeah, almost my whole family saw it, and after they saw it, they started ringing my mum.
And one of the people that was so impressed was a lady I know from the ASB Bank. And she said, go out and buy those teachers a couple of bikes so they don't have to borrow them off family. And then she said, I'll pick up the bill. So here we are, thanks to the ASB.
They're going to be so stoked.
So, on the pretext of wanting to know how the first couple of days back at school have gone, we've talked our way in.
Just the noise around the school, it's nice. Just the kids' laughter, just people here.
We thought we'd get you a bike each so that,
Oh, no way.
so that mother-in-law Shaz can have hers back and wifey Jess can have hers back.
Oh man, tough take from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. I might just text my mum. I've got a bike, mum. Look, mum, I've got a bike.
A bike helmet that finally fits me. Finally fits my big head.
Sort of.
Go!
They've done an amazing job. They've kept the kids engaged, they've kept the kids entertained. It's been great, yeah, and thoroughly deserved.
Tour de France, Tour de Cody Flats. I'm very grateful, but at the same time, man, there are heaps of teachers out in New Zealand that are doing cool stuff in and out of the classroom like every single day, and I'm just very grateful to be a part of this profession.
This bike is so flash, bro. I've learned that if you want to do something, get out there and just do it. Thank you to Shazza for letting me use your bike, but I think I found a better one. Nah, I love you. Thanks, mother-in-law.
That's a oncer, all right?
Yeah, I think my principal would agree. Yeah.
You've done it now, no more.
No more, yeah.
Young man.
I promise. Put me on detention.
Man, isn't that incredible? What has the response been like since that interview aired?
It's been awesome, mate. A lot of encouraging comments from people kind of saying, you know, like, oh, good on you guys for thinking outside of the box. But really, like, it kind of wasn't really anything like that. It was just like, we missed the kids and they weren't coming online. So, you know, how can we sort of, you know, see their faces again? One of the coolest things has been like old co-workers and sort of old people I haven't heard from for a while kind of reach out and say, hey, I saw you on TV. Like it was really cool. Had a phone call from an old dean of mine from high school, and she was like, oh, you know, I'm so proud of you and all that sort of thing. And I was like, oh man, yeah, it's quite special that happened.
Awesome. You know, this Christmas is going to look different for a lot of people this year. What do you think Christmas carries for the families in your school and in your community?
For my school, being based in Takanini, there's a lot of, it's very kind of multi-ethnic, multi-faith community. I think for sort of our community, there's a big sort of presence of selfless service. doing things for others, and that's sort of the Takanini and Papakura area. It's massive on that. Throughout the lockdown, you had like the Papakura Marae, which is like down the road from our school, giving out food packages and leading vaccine drives and COVID testing and all that sort of thing. And I think that's something that the community has really rallied around, is just kind of, giving yourself up for the benefit of others.
That is so true. So how do you think that we can best carry Christ this Christmas?
Man, that's a big question. I guess, like what I said before, it's kind of all about selfless service, really. And, I'm very lucky in that I get paid to teach, and I get paid to do all these cool things as a teacher, and I get to work with kids. But there are plenty of people out there who do stuff for free, or who, even, give up their time, give up their resources, without sort of any physical benefit to them, I guess. And I guess that's kind of for Christmas, that's kind of, where I kind of think what Christmas is about, is just sort of giving yourself up and being selfless in what you do, and kind of carrying that spirit of Christ throughout, everything we do in this holiday break.
I love that. Thank you so much, Nick, for those incredible words of wisdom. And I'm so proud of you, so proud to see all the good that you are doing in your community and how you carry Christ in your community and in your school. So thank you for speaking to us today. Thank you for inspiring us. And I'm sure we are all going to follow your lead in carrying Christ this Christmas. Right now, we are going to get to hear from our resident superstar, Albert Mataafa, and he is going to share with us a beautiful Christmas song called All Is Well. So let's enjoy that together.
All is well, all is well. Angels and men rejoice. For tonight darkness fell into the dawn of love's light. Sing sing hallelujah. All is well, all is well. Let there be peace on earth. Christ has come. Go and tell that he is in the manger. Sing sing hallelujah. All is well, all is well. Lift up your voice and sing. All is now Emmanuel. Born is our Lord and the Savior. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah.
Good morning, Papsda. Every week we show you photos of Andrew and his team making deliveries to our community, and with this week being all about carrying Christmas, I thought it would be really awesome to go with Andrew and film him and see what kind of a day in the life of our community pastor is like, because he literally carries Christ and carries Christmas every single week to those that really need it. So we are on our way to Andrew's place right now, and then we're going to head to BBM. So come along with us for the ride and let's see what they get up to. Thanks, Dave, so much for talking to us today. Before we even get started, I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do in our community and all that you are. I guess, us at Papsda are really privileged to get to partner with you and BBM, and we have for a little while now. And so, man, we're just, really privileged to get to do the good work alongside you and all the stuff you do in the community. So thank you for that. Thank you for all your mahi. It's really awesome. You've done lots of cool things in your life. Been lots of, had your roles, different roles and lots of different things. What made you kind of shift your focus to doing this, like full-time, hard out?
It's great to be here. Thanks so much. But there was a need, and if you can help, you should. And that's what we believe in. And, I believe, doing God's work, and we're out in the community every day serving our people. And for us, we saw the need, we saw the plight that our people were in. So we banded together with our sponsors and our supporters and just got the work done.
Awesome. I love that. So you literally deliver these food parcels and so many other things to hundreds and hundreds of families every single week. Is it just about the food, or does it go beyond that for you?
BBM is a really holistic, well-rounded community health program that looks after, not just food, but health and fitness, not just physical fitness, but also mental fitness. It's just, te whare tapawha or whono whale. It's just the health model, and it's called the BBM health model. And that's what we do. It's just such a well-rounded program. You need food, we'll help you with food. If you need to get fitter, we'll help you with that. If you're feeling down in the dumps, we'll help you with that. So, it's about getting people around, good, positive people, having faith, but also hard work.
Awesome. I love that, holistic wraparound approach. That's really awesome. So we're talking about Christmas. Christmas is just around the corner, and this is our Christmas service, and we've called it Carrying Christmas. And you literally carry Christmas around in boxes and all other ways every single week. But what do you think Christmas can kind of carry? It's kind of perceived as this great, wonderful, magical time of the year. But for some people, it's not quite that. What do you think it carries for some people in our community?
Christmas for a lot of our families carries a lot of burden and weight. If parents, speaking as a parent, there's nothing worse than you look at your kids and you go, geez, I wish I could give them more. And you feel guilt, and it's understanding that Christmas is not about the material things, but still you can't help but feel, man, I want to give my kids everything, and I want to give them more. I want to, give them even just the basic Christmas. And unfortunately, for a lot of the families that we all work with, and Andrew included, Christmas sucks. It's a time of just feeling down and depressed, and feeling like a failure that you can't give your family a Christmas that they deserve. So organisations like BBM and Solid, we just try our best to give them the Christmas that they deserve and that everyone deserves.
Yeah, amazing, love that. And you're doing that by this big event that is happening very soon. And I know I've seen a little bit about it on social media, but can you tell us a little bit about the event that's coming up?
Yeah, it's an amazing event. Again, we saw a need, so we just got to work. We could help, so we did. And it just come out of this work that we've been doing along with Andrew and other community groups, where we're going into homes and you just see the plight that some of our families find themselves in, and that the kids and they're not having Christmas. They're not having any presents to open. They're not having a Christmas breakfast, lunch or dinner. They're lucky if they even have a meal. So I just thought, geez, this is not right. So I got together with some of our sponsors, and look, BBM's very blessed with great supporters. They see our work and they trust it. They know what they give goes to the people in need. So, we're doing this massive event. It's only meant to be 200 families, but it's looking more like 250 families. We've reached out to community groups that are on the ground doing the mahi, and they see the plight, so they know the families, they're connected with the families, so they know that they need it. And then we've got our BBM family. So it's going to be an epic day, filled with lots of food, treats, and ice cream, and all the things you wouldn't normally find in a BBM parcel. You know, we're going to ensure that our families enjoy themselves.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see photos and footage from that. I know Papsda is a bit involved in providing a space for that. So we're so excited for that. So all the best for that. Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Thank you. So here we are, we're with Andrew, we're on the road going to our next delivery. But while we do that, I just wanted to ask you some questions, Andrew. So every week you've been doing these deliveries, serving about 30 families every week. What is the most rewarding part about it for you?
The most rewarding part of it is just seeing the kids and their face, and you could tell that they are in need of food, you know, and you don't even know when the next time they're going to eat. It's just, you can just see it when you, you know. I remember a time when one of the sons said to mum, "Hey, are we going to eat yet? You know, when are we going to eat? You know?" And, because I think he saw me come in with food, so it was so rewarding just to know that they are somebody that really needs to have that food.
Yeah, awesome. And we've got to see a little bit of that today, going around with Andrew, so it's been awesome. And what has serving, I guess not only, you know, with this ministry, but through all the things you do with Solid and everything over the years, what has it taught you?
Man, it teaches me, you know, like the second commandment, you know, love God and love others, and it's taught me how to really love people generously, you know, and just seeing the need and how people out there, you know, I mean, we're less fortunate than us, and it really touches the heart, and it's helped my heart build me even as a better man, to be able to be a giving man and to help others. So yeah, I learned the love of God, which is, you know, unconditionally, but also with the Solid, man, I learned a lot of Solid, you know, and just different kind of people that I get, you know, guys from the gangs, you know, even families who are just need a place to go and meet people, and they meet a lot. I met a lot of people through Solid, and that changed me as well, and just to see the love of God to those people.
Oh, awesome, Andrew. Well, thanks so much for having us come around with you today. It's been an awesome experience, and it's been beautiful to see exactly what you said, the joy of the kids when they see you coming, and it's been hugely rewarding for us too. So thank you for all that you do. Appreciate it. So here we have Dee, and you've probably seen this guy around church a few times. He's a familiar face to us all, but it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. And we see you sometimes in Andrew's delivery photos. You've been receiving some parcels over the time. What do these deliveries kind of mean for you in the middle of the week?
Not even in the middle of the week. It could be in between weeks, but it shows up just when it needs to, and so I don't think words can describe it. Only God can do those kind of things. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that. And we are coming up to Christmas time. What does Christmas mean to you and your family?
Oh man, what it's starting to mean to me is not taking up the opportunity to share Jesus, and I mean share him with acts of kindness and with acts of a smile. So that's what it's turning into.
Awesome, I love that. And our service today is actually called Carrying Christmas, because just like what you said, we want to be carrying Christ around with us through acts of kindness and things. So it's beautiful that you said that. And one last thing, just if you could, I guess encourage our people that are watching this this Christmas, and if they want to carry Christ with them, what are some things you think they can do?
Just don't forget that He's the reason for the season. And the reason doesn't have to stop in this season. They can continue on throughout the year and maybe set the tone for the year. So yeah, maybe that's all I can encourage you with.
Awesome. Thanks, Dee.
All good.
Beautiful. Thank you. Wow, what an awesome experience today has been. It has been, a beautiful day of just seeing, the joy in our kids' faces when we pull up. And I so get what Andrew means about it being so rewarding. And so, just like Dave and Dee and Andrew said, Christmas this year isn't, always a good time for family. So if you can, Papsda, carry Christmas, whether that's through an act of kindness, whether that's through, donating food or clothes or presents or whatever it is. All of us can do something to carry Christmas this year. So let's do that together as a church and make a difference in our communities this Christmas.
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appears and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder brings a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices all night divine, all night when Christ was born. All night divine, all night divine. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appears and the soul felt His worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices all night divine, all night
Well, good morning, Papsda. Happy Sabbath and Merry Christmas. It's not very often that the opportunity arises to experience Sabbath and Christmas on the very same day. But here we are, the very first time since 2010. When we were planning earlier this year about how we would celebrate the merging of these two really special days, an online service was definitely not one of the options that we had in mind. But here we are, 2021, the year of the unexpected thanks to COVID. But we are still glad and still feel blessed that we get the opportunity to connect with you today, because so much of what is central to both Sabbath and Christmas is connection. If you've been joining us online over the last 3 weeks, you will know that we have been talking about what the purpose of Christmas is really all about. That for us, as Christ followers, Christmas is about carrying Christ. We have the choice each and every day, not just at Christmas time, but always to carry Jesus, to carry hope, to carry peace, to carry joy, and to carry love. What a gift and what a privilege, but also what an incredible challenge. It's not always easy carrying Christ, but when we do, it not only changes us from the inside out, but it impacts everyone that we come into contact with in a truly profound way. So profound, in fact, that Jesus himself is revealed. People get to see and know Jesus in ways that they perhaps wouldn't otherwise. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to take a look at it in a different story from the one that we've been looking at. We're going to look at the story of the Good Samaritan, a story that Jesus told in response to a question from a religious man. Our story is found in the Gospel of Luke. And interestingly, this story is only found in Luke's Gospel. As you know, sometimes the stories from Jesus' life here on earth can be found in 2, 3, or even 4 of the Gospels, but this story is only found in Luke. And that caused me just to dig a little deeper, and I found out some really interesting things that I think help give context to this story. So the first thing I discovered is that Luke is the only Gentile author in the whole Bible. All of the others are Jewish. And a Gentile really just means that you weren't Jewish. But it also meant that in the eyes of the Jews, or in the eyes of the followers of God at this particular time in history, you as a Gentile were considered less than. They considered Gentiles to be sinful and unworthy. And so Gentiles were very much rejected by the Jews. So it's a really big deal that a Gentile author is included into the Bible. Another really interesting thing is that it's understood that Luke wrote the Gospel of Luke and the book of Acts as one book. They're actually meant to be read together. And because Luke was a Gentile, he wrote in such a way that you can see that he understands life and that he understands God and the world from an outcast perspective. You'll see it if you go and read the Gospels again, and maybe do that over this holiday period. In contrast to Mark or Matthew, Luke's Gospel is clearly written for more of a Gentile audience. His gospel includes several parables and eyewitness accounts that are only in his gospel, like the pre-birth account of John the Baptist, or the story of the two men who met the resurrected Jesus on the road to Emmaus, as well as some of the stories of miraculous healing. His gospel is also the longest of the four gospels, and it includes the most healing stories, which reflect his interest and compassion for the sick, because it's understood that Luke was also a doctor. And his gospel has the most detailed birth account and more descriptive death and resurrection account of Jesus. The Gospel of Luke and the book of Acts total 52 chapters, and that makes Luke the author of 1/3 of the New Testament, just like Paul. Interesting, eh? Okay, so let's look at the story. I know that a lot of you will have heard this story plenty of times, and you may be thinking, yep, I know this one. I can absolutely tune out. But I'm hoping to introduce some new thinking and to challenge the very nature of how we carry Christ today. So please stick with me. This story is so well known that it's become somewhat of a cultural norm in our Christian world. We point to the Good Samaritan in our everyday life. I remember using it with my girls when they were growing up. You may have also used it in an attempt to convey what it means to be kind in a hurting world. But what if this story isn't just about being nice? What if this is a story about the transformation of the world? Let's take a look. It's really interesting how the story begins, or why Jesus tells it in the first place. You see, Jesus shares the story to expand on the idea of the greatest commandment. On this particular day, there is an expert in religion, it tells us, and he comes to Jesus and he asks Jesus how he can inherit or attain or receive eternal life. His focus this day is on himself. How can he get what he ultimately wants? And that sounds pretty human to me. But Jesus replies, of course, as Jesus tended to do, with a question. He says, well, what does the law of Moses say? How do you read it? And the man answers this. He says, you must love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your strength and your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus said to him, yeah, good job, that's right. Do this and you will live. But the story doesn't end there. It actually does end there in the other Gospels. But in Luke, it carries on. In Luke, he goes on to tell us that this religious man wants to justify his actions. He wants to shift the focus back to himself and what he needs and what he wants. And so he asks Jesus, well, who is my neighbor? And this is where our story comes in. So it starts in verse 30, and it says, Jesus replied with a story. A Jewish man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he was attacked by bandits. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and left him half dead beside the road. By chance, a priest came along, but when he saw the man lying there, he crossed to the other side of the road and passed him by. A temple assistant walked over and looked at him lying there, but he also passed by onto the other side. Then a despised Samaritan came along, and when he saw the man, he felt compassion for him. Going over to him, the Samaritan soothed his wounds with olive oil and wine and bandaged them. And then he put the man on his donkey and he took him to an inn where he took care of him. The next day, he handed the innkeeper 2 silver coins, telling him, "Take care of this man. If his bill runs higher than this, I'll pay you next time I'm here." Now, which of these 3 would you say was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by bandits? Jesus asked. And the religious man replied, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said, "Yes, now you go and do the same." In our story, Jesus talks about 3 types of people along the road between Jerusalem and Jericho. The first type of people are the robbers. Now, this story would suggest that the robbers' ethic, or the principle that they are guided by, is what is yours is mine at whatever cost. And the robbers will take whatever they need through violence, through coercion, and whatever means necessary. These are the people in life who sometimes leave us physically, mentally, and emotionally beaten and bruised along life's road with nothing much left to hold on to. The second type of person to walk along this dangerous road between Jerusalem and Jericho is represented by the priest and the Levite. And it seems that the guiding principle that they follow is perhaps what is mine, and I must protect it, even if it means that you get hurt in the process. These guys are not bad people. Both the priest and the Levite are deeply respected in their communities. They very likely follow all the societal rules and norms. They sit on local boards, they pay their taxes on time, and they probably coach their son and daughter's sports teams. They also show a great deal of love to those people that are in their immediate communities. But because of what crossing the road to help might cost them, they put their head down and they continue to go about their business. Unfortunately, without even recognizing it, they do more harm than good. Their focus is inward. It's set largely on their needs and the needs of the people who are most like them. Sadly, however, it's a principle that leads the good and decent priest and Levite to a life that values their reputations rather or more than their relationships. And that often results with them choosing their own individual rights over the health and well-being of their neighbours. Now, as much as I'd like to sit in judgment of the priest and the Levite, unfortunately, this is the category where I fall most often throughout my life. And if we're all being honest, I'd say it's the category that most of us fall into more than we care to admit. The third group of people is represented by the Samaritan. And it's not surprising to me that the adjective that Luke uses to describe this Samaritan is harsh. He says, "Then a despised Samaritan came along." You see, this man who was left half dead beside the road was a Jewish man. And Luke knew only too well how the Jews saw Samaritans. They hated them. They would literally cross to the other side of the road to avoid one. And they definitely saw them as second-class citizens. Yet this despised Samaritan seems to be guided by the principle of love. And along one of the most dangerous roads in all of history, He is living by a code that says, what is mine is yours if you have need of it. My safety is yours if you have need of it. My security is yours if you have need of it. My resources are yours if you have need of them. My health is connected to your health. My well-being is connected to your well-being. It's not surprising to me that Martin Luther King Jr. preached from this story lots. He said in one of his sermons that the real difference between the priest and the Levite compared to the Samaritan was the question that each must have asked themselves. He said that the priest and the Levite probably asked themselves, if I stop to help this man, what will happen to me? But he said the Samaritan most likely asked himself a very different question. Perhaps the question, if I don't stop to help this man, what will happen to him? It's an interesting and an obvious difference. One is focused on himself, while the other is focused on others. And I think that we see these scenarios played out in our world and in our culture each and every day. Am I doing what I'm doing today for me? Or am I doing what I'm doing for someone else? The other interesting thing to note here is that fear has a way of making us behave or respond in ways that we're sometimes not proud of, or in ways that we perhaps wouldn't normally. It was true for the priest and the Levite, and it's still true for us today. When we allow fear to guide our actions, we tend to cling to our own safety and our own individual rights. When we allow fear to guide our lives, we retreat, we mind our own business, and we really cross to the other side of the road to help. When we allow fear to guide our lives, we can end up placing our hope in mottos like, we're defending our rights, or don't tell me what to do, as opposed to Jesus' greatest commandment, which is to love God and to love our neighbour. It doesn't take looking out our window at the world for very long right now to know that we are all on a road somewhere between Jerusalem and Jericho. It can feel dangerous out there. Life is hard. The heartbreak and the exhaustion are real. And it's not just the virus, it's everything. It's layers and layers of feeling beaten and bruised along a dry, hard road these last couple of years. Today and every day, we face the same choices that the bandits, the priest and the Levite, or the Samaritan faced. We can choose to make our everyday decisions from a place of fear, and for a time, choices based on fear can have a way of making us feel safe, but that is fleeting at best. We can choose to make decisions that centre around ourselves. We can be content to help and love people who are most like us. We can choose to protect what is most important to us. So what question will we ask ourselves as we think about our choice? Will we ask ourselves, if I stop to help this person, what will happen to me? Or will we ask the question, if I don't stop to help this person, what will happen to him? The choice that always remains is, will we cross the road to help our neighbour. You know, on Thursday, we got the opportunity as a faith community to partner with BBM and a whole lot of other generous providers to bless more than 250 families with a Christmas that wouldn't have otherwise been possible. I wish that you all could have been with me on Thursday at Papsda to see the impact and to see the joy that this brought to so many people. The impact that will equate to blessing more than 1,000 people today and over the coming week. We should never take for granted what simply crossing the road can do for someone in need. When we cross to the other side, we get a glimpse of something that Jesus talked a whole lot about. When we cross to the other side, we get to see what transformation looks like. When we cross to the other side, we finally understand who we are called to be. And best of all, when we cross to the other side, we encounter the Jesus that we long for. So this Christmas, this season, and next year, our challenge to you is to cross to the other side.
Thank you so much, Karyn, for that beautiful Christmas message. So challenging and just a beautiful way to think about today and how special it is. So thank you, Karyn, so much for that. Well, Papsda, that's us for Papsda at Your Place this morning. Again, if you tuned in today, that is such an achievement. Thank you for being here. Maybe you're watching this a bit later on, which is awesome too. But whatever you get up to this morning, whatever you're doing right now, I hope that you are just soaking in every single moment with your family and with your friends, whatever that looks like, and just enjoy this day being together. We will be back here, same time, same place, next week and all throughout January. And again, just a reminder that we are hoping to be back in the building with you all in February sometime, but we will definitely update you on that and when that will be. But for the next few weeks, we'll be meeting here again just like this, and you can tune in from wherever you are. If you're going away, and if you've got Wi-Fi, you can still do church with us. So that's the awesome thing about it. But anyway, family, have a beautiful rest of your Christmas day. Eat a lot of food, have lots of fun, and make lots of memories. But until next time, be kind, stay safe, and Merry Christmas.